Another day, another change I'm making to the office. So I'm not really sure where this is going to be going in terms of what this video is going to be about. I know a lot of people like behind the scenes stuff, so I'm kind of aiming it towards more of those people than anything really. But welcome to this. I've got a rough idea of where I'm going to go with this. I've been thinking about this for a long time, so anyone that's been with me on the channel for a while or happened to watch the IKEA IDÅSEN standing desk videos, I've had that for just over a year now, and really haven't used it as much as I thought I would to stand up. And being that I'm starting to move into PC builds and things like that, I do need something that's a little bit more convenient for my back. The folding desk that is kind of like normal desk height just isn't going to cut it. I'm going to be hunched over a lot. It's not going to do me any good. So what I'm doing is I'm converting the IDÅSEN legs into a separate table, and then going to put static legs on the IDÅSEN top. I hope that makes sense. So as you can see, I've got a Linnmon top here. This is 120mm, purely because I don't want it to take masses of room up in the office, and that's going to be what I'm going to do my benchmarks and my building on, more like a review table. Currently at present, the folding table is crammed with review stuff underneath and just littered with stuff on the top. It's become a little bit of a dumping ground. So another thought is, when I make this into a standing desk, I can maybe put a unit underneath or a cupboard as well, so it's additional storage we can do, whereas now it's not high enough to be able to do that. So another little thing we can do there. So the theory is, I've been quite strategic about this. I really can't be bothered to clear everything off here, bring it out into the room, take the legs off and stuff like that. So I've bought these Olav legs. Now these are the adjustable ones for anyone that's planned to do this, because the standard height of the desk is just too low for me, being 6'6". So I bought the adjustable versions, and then I'm going to lift the whole desk up, drill some pilot holes with the mounting plate, and hopefully once I've got the legs all at the same height, I've got 5, I'm going to put one in the centre as well, just to support, so there's no bow in the desk. It's a pretty thick desk, but I don't want to risk anything. What I'm going to do is screw these in while I've lifted up the legs of the standing desk. So all the legs are going to be on there, and then in theory I can do it all without having to take anything off the top, and then just bring it all down to support onto this, unscrew the base that the standing desk is on, and then slide that out. That's the theory. How well it goes in practice is another matter, but I'm thinking if I could do all this, screw it all in with it raised up and just bring it all down, should make it a lot easier than having to pull it all out and stuff. So I'll turn that upside down, put some pilot holes into this desk, and then we'll put the legs onto the Linnmon. I've also got some wheels coming for it as well. They take M8 thread wheels, which is not an easy thing to find out. Obviously, unless you lift your desk up and actually check it with calipers, then it's quite difficult to do. So I've emailed back and forward to IKEA to get them to tell me what the thread is. They don't officially support casters on it, so it's a little bit of a back alley method, but it should hopefully work, and we'll just see where it goes. I'm just looking forward to having a desk that I can work at a nice height, so like I can literally work at this height on the PCs and stuff without having to be hunched over. So it's going to be pretty much a game changer in terms of making content, and things will be a lot better, and I'll be saving my back as well. So yeah. So the first mission is to get the legs onto this desk. Let's get some pilot holes and get these legs on, and then we'll go from there, I guess. Welcome to a very messy underside of the desk. So I've put in 3 of the screws, just basically drilled up through, and it seems to be pretty solid, so I think we should be alright. I just need to do those 4. I'm going to time lapse the rest, and then hopefully better get the base out. I'm going to have to ghetto it a little bit because these are Allen keys under the desk, and I'm putting the new desk on with literally leaving one of the leg screws out and using those, so we're doing it very ghetto, but it should be alright. So yeah, this is the reason that things are going to be delayed, because I'm setting up this new table and stuff, but hopefully it should make lives a lot easier after, so thank you for bearing with me. Alright, let's get the other ones in, and then we shall hopefully better get the base out. Now I apologise to anyone who does woodworking or anything like that as a profession. I've utterly butchered this and I'm only on the second leg, so apologies for any cringing that's happening on your end. Let's continue. Additionally, I am using a masonry drill bit as well, I am aware of that. See what I mean? Ghetto. Not really going very well, was it? Whose idea was this? In conclusion, went through the desk a couple of times. Bants. They went on okay. Would I recommend doing it that way? Not at all. Just don't be lazy, people. Just do it the proper way. So now it's time to let it down and get the base out. So update, guys. We've got this down to the floor. I just pushed the legs out ever so slightly just to get it down. So now we can take the top off and hopefully we'll be alright. Just need to get my Allen key, which I've put somewhere and I can't find. Classic. To carry on from where I left off, I've spent some time adjusting the legs. What I found is that one side is slightly higher than the other, regardless of them being the same length on the actual leg. So what I've had to do is go and measure each one to make sure it's all going to touch ground, you know, at the same time. The back one seemed to be a little bit iffy, and that would like bend when they touch the ground. But to be fair, now that looks like it's going down. See, it's not even touching the back, and there's a little bit at the front. So now I need to adjust the back one, and hopefully we should be okay. As you can see, I don't know if you can quite tell on camera yet, but that is separated from the desk, so that is actually literally on the floor. So I'm going to adjust the back one to make sure there's ample support on each leg. Then hopefully we can take out the actual standing part and get on with making what I actually need, the standing build desk. Okay, so personally I feel this is going to be a very niche, you know, use case scenario where someone's going to swap the desk over like I have. But if there's that one person that has done it and they want to help, then the best thing I can do is just give you this advice. So I put all the legs are basically just touching the ground and they're just skimming the floor. Like there's a little bit of play in each one, so there's not a substantial amount of weight on it. Now I've done basically what I can to match up the legs to how they feel at the moment. So there's a little bit of friction, you can move them, there's not, you know, like I said, there's not a lot of weight on them. And then I've done that for each one, so they all feel relatively in the same place before the desk comes down. And then once I've put all the weight onto the legs, like I'm about to do now, so that's released again, is then give them all a wiggle. That's a lot better to make sure there is ample contact with the ground. And now I'm happy with that, and I feel comfortable that I can leave that and it's going to, you know, stay put. So a little bit finicky, certainly taking a lot longer than I hoped, but if you're going to do something, you know, do it properly. He says when there's 4 screws missing, you know, from the toe of the legs. But, you know, I can replace those screws. So yeah, that's just my advice from however long I've spent doing this so far. Okay, just had another final adjustment there. I don't know if I'm going to add this into the clip or not. I've just done the left leg. Now that's absolutely solid, like no movement anywhere. So I'm happy now to pull out the centre part. I'll tell you what, we'll do this real time as well, because I've taken off the controllers. You could see me, I was probably, you could probably see me adjusting it as I was going along, but now I can just literally bring this down. Try not to destroy the cable manager that's on there. And then pull this out. Hopefully if it will fit between the legs. I don't think it's going to. Oh, this is a barrel laugh so far, isn't it? Okay, I'm gonna have to do the friends option and pivot it out, I think. This is the life that I lead, like lots of snacks and chocolate to get me through the day. I'm hoping that we can just, please come out. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Win. So my plan did work. Take out the power for the motor. And now the actual base is free. Oh, boy, am I relieved to get that thing out of there. Bloody hell. We need to make this smaller because I'm using the 120mm top. So I'm going to have to bring it in. I think it's going to be all the way. But I'm going to keep these semi-loose. So then once I put the top on, I can push up on this to then make sure it's totally flush against the surface. I've ran the cables both out the same side. Obviously we've got the control for the actual desk, which I shall put probably in the middle somewhere. And then the power lead, I've done it as long as possible because it has got to go to obviously a plug to be powered. I'm not sure if we're going to add an extension plug maybe underneath the desk at some point, but for now this is what we're going to do. So all that's left to do now is turn this upside down and put the top on. I have done a little temporary Velcro cable tie to stop the little controller box coming out, because obviously we want all these cables within this channel when we put the desktop on, and being that there's this little lip that just does allow enough space for that to go in, and I might be able to pull it out once it's in there as well. So all the cables are still in the same places as they were, be it just tucked in a little bit to allow for the space to bring in. But yeah, looks good to me. I have kept this, as I said, fairly loose, so I can do any final adjustments before I tighten it up when it's on the actual worktop. So yeah, let's get that on the floor and then get this top on, and then we're pretty much close to being finished. The wheels didn't arrive, so I'm going to just add those on after. Hopefully they'll fit and be fine. So yeah, that's just a case of swapping the desks over. I think these tops are pretty disposable. This is probably the most awkward setup you could possibly do, having legs like this on the cheapest top. But like I said, even if I get a couple of years out of it, or even just a year, I think that's pretty cheap and not too bad to pay out for, to be perfectly honest. I don't know how I'm going to turn this over without ripping the top off from using the basic screws I'm going to be using, but we'll figure that bit out when we get there. Oh, handiwork is paying off. Right, let's try and flip this over. I'll tell you what, I'm going to roll with the shot as well, because if it goes wrong, it's going to be hilarious. I really could do with having someone helping me with this, but okay, that worked. Oh, she's a beaut. I'm going to say it, I'm very happy with my handiwork. And if I say so myself, that's a pretty nice looking review table. So grand scheme of things, the legs for the desk that are over here, I kind of like this colour better than the one over here. I will screw this bit onto the desk. I'll probably put it here. I want to put it underneath though, I don't want it visible. So it just looks like a normal desk to begin with. Okay, this last bit I'm doing handheld, just so I can give you a little bit of a better look, but it's complete, kind of, minus putting the control on the side, but that's a minor inconvenience. And this is going to change my life and my back for doing reviews. I'm so happy about how this has turned out. Take it to the same height as my other desk for doing bigger things, like maybe cases or something, if I still wanted to have the background as my usual. So options everywhere. That is pretty much everything I want to cover Let me put you on said desk to close the video out. Oh, it's been a long time. I started this at about 1 o'clock, I think, and it's now 6 o'clock. I did have about an hour gap, about an hour and a half probably for lunch and a meeting, online meeting. But yeah, it's solid though. There's hardly any movement on it either, so really impressed, actually really happy with this. So just need to get the wheels on. So I don't know if this has been used to anyone, but you might like to see behind the scenes stuff. I certainly do, for other channels I watch. So I thought I'd do this anyway. Yeah, thank you everyone for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, ding the bell so you don't miss an upload. Follow my social media, and I'll see you all in the next one.